When Mel Tucker walks into Michigan Stadium on Saturday, it will be the first time he's coached in a game at the Big House when it is 100,000 plus strong. Back in 2020, the only fans staring back at him were the cardboard cutouts. And honestly, in his eyes, he cannot wait to coach in this kind of environment because it's what big time college football is all about. He knows what's at stake, and he also made sure to remind everybody else in the organization what they're playing for. For you to teach the younger players about the rivalry, that is very important to you, that they know the history of it. What have you been doing this week to teach the younger players about the significance of facing Michigan and especially Paul?
We present the information to the players in the team meeting. We started off with the history of the Paul Bunyan Trophy in 1953 and what all went into that, and that first meeting when Michigan State entered the Big Ten. It kind of goes from there. So we want to make sure the players understand, how important the game is, understand the history of the game, the tradition. We don't want to assume anything.
Of the history lesson that you've been giving them, what has surprised you about what people have said about it, some of the younger players who didn't know, or what's something that you could share with us that you found to be intriguing that one of the players may have said to you?
I'll say one of the things that I saw some raised eyebrows was that some of our players didn't know that Michigan State was not originally in the Big Ten. And so I think that was eye-opening for them.
Last year when we were sitting down, I asked you what you liked about Paul, and you said you like the fact that he's in East Lansing.
Yeah.
What's it going to take for you guys to keep Paul in East Lansing for another year?
We're going to have to play with tremendous toughness. We're going to have to be disciplined. We're going to have to be selfless. Those are our core values. We talked about those, all week. In order to win any game, but especially a game of this magnitude, we have to play complementary football. We've seen the teams that have had the most success versus the school down the road are the teams who have played the hardest and the longest. It can't be a quarter or half or three quarters. It's got to be a full 60. And we have not played our best 60 so far this year, so we're looking forward to playing closer to our full potential and getting the job done.
Yeah, you mentioned that a couple of different times, how you felt like you haven't played a full 60 minutes of football. What area did you notice that the most in, or maybe where did you improve the most in that area against Wisconsin?
Yeah, I believe it was all three phases against Wisconsin. We were able to string more good plays, more positive plays together. We're getting some more players back defensively, which has been a big boost for us. Those were the biggest takeaways, just more consistency throughout the game. It was a better brand of football throughout, and it showed on the scoreboard.
How did you feel, too, the energy of the defense maybe lift a little bit because Xavier Henderson was back as well as Jacob Slade?
Yeah, well, those guys are two of our best players, and they're leaders, and they're great communicators. Those guys work really hard to get back, to get healthy, and really wanted to play in that game. And so there was a significant difference in the way our defense played with those guys in there.
This Saturday is the first time since 2017 that this game will be played at night. Only the second time in the entire history of the rivalry that it's going to be played at night. Do you like night games?
I do. I like night games. It's a huge stage. This is what our players, that's why they come here, to be able to play on a huge stage. Night games, national TV, rivalry games. The whole world's going to be watching. That's why we coach. That's why we play.
Is it hard to sit around all day waiting for kickoff at 7:30?
Yeah, it is. I'd rather just, as a coach, the waiting is probably the most difficult part. But it's worth the wait.
You have a lot of emphasis that goes into it from a defensive standpoint just because of the type of offense that they have. Traditionally, teams who run the ball and are successful at running the ball in this rivalry are the ones who come out on top. You saw that last year with the performance that Kenneth Walker III had. When you look at a running back like Blake Corum, How do you best stop him?
Yeah, we have to set an edge on our defense and build a wall up front in the run game. We can't give them seams. We have to be gap sound. We can't let their shifts and their motions and all their formations affect the way we fit the run. We have to do a great job on the perimeter. He's a really good back. He's got really good vision. He's tough. He's quick. You can't leave it up to just one guy to get him on the ground, so we're going to have to gain, tackle, and fly to the football.
You mentioned, too, that you've been a part of so many different rivalries. You've been asked the uniqueness of this rivalry, fighting for players, a recruiting standpoint, houses divided, etc. When you're not in season, what are some conversations or things that people have said to you about this rivalry that continue to stick out?
There's not a day that's gone by since I've been here that someone hasn't mentioned the rivalry to me, whether it's in season, out of season. But out of season, it's every single day. Anytime anyone sees me, they talk about this game.
This game?
This game.
No matter what?
No matter what, no matter where it is. I could be on the road recruiting. I could be at a fundraiser, in-state, out-of-state. I could be on a Zoom call with donors. It doesn't matter. This game always comes up. It's an important game, and so, we embrace that. I know about it. I know what it means, and so, I'm looking forward to it.
Tucker is hoping to be the first Spartan coach to win his first 3 meetings against the Wolverines, and it all begins on Saturday a little after 7:30. As always, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show. Have a happy and healthy weekend.